Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my recent pickups. So this is going to be video game pickups as well as some book pickups. So I picked these guys up from the very beginning of the year, so January up until now, which is mid-February. I have some original Xbox games as well as some Xbox 360 games, and the books are of different genres, but we'll go ahead and get right into it. So the very first game I have to show off is of course Max Payne for the original Xbox. Now, I actually do own this on PS2 as well, but the performance is a lot better on the original Xbox for the first and second game, which is funny because I actually did buy the second game as well. But again, I bought these mainly for the performance of them. The PS2 version for the original Max Payne, I don't think is too bad, but you can definitely notice it with the second game. I actually bought the PS2 version for a friend and tried it out, but the load times seemed very, very long. So I opted to get for the original Xbox. But if you don't know what Max Payne is, it is a third person shooting game. It's developed by a company called Remedy and is published by Rockstar. And of course, the story is basically just about a police officer who's trying to get revenge for people that murder his family. The first one, again, more so follows like that plot of him trying to figure out basically like who killed his family or him trying to get revenge for that particularly. And then the second game I think is more so like him like getting involved in like another kind of like crime scenario. But both of them have a very cool art style. They kind of tell the story in terms of like a graphic novel. So there's lots of cutscenes in between, like when you're actually playing, and it's of course narrated. I think it's narrated by different people. When I was playing the second game, he sounded a little bit different. I don't know, maybe the quality was better, but it sounded like two different people. But in both cases, the again the storytelling or the voice actor does a really good job in between the cutscenes, and that's something I always really loved about Max Payne. I did finish the first one again on PS2 a long time ago, but I have never actually beat the second one, or I've never really played it all that much. But definitely excited to beat these, and perhaps I'll maybe stream them both because that would be a lot of fun. And I do own the third one as well for Xbox 360, so it'd be fun to play through the entire series. But that is Max Payne for the original Xbox. And then the next game I picked up is, of course, Earth Defense Force 2025 for Xbox 360. Now, I do own two other Earth Defense Force games on Xbox 360, Insect Armageddon, and then Earth Defense Force, I want to say 2017. So this is, I believe, the fourth main installment of the Earth Defense Force series. If you've never played an Earth Defense Force game, basically you play as, I guess you could say, like an agent or kind of like a military person, and you're taking out giant insects basically that are trying to, of course, like take over the city and stuff like that. But in this game in particular, I haven't really played Earth Defense Force 2025, but basically you have different like abilities, or you have different character types that you can play that have different weapons and such like that. And then you obviously just kill a bunch of giant insects in the cities. But it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like mindless, I guess you could say, in terms of like gameplay, but it's a lot of dumb fun in my opinion. So that's why I picked up this one in particular. I think it's a little bit more well polished. They usually don't have the highest ratings, but again, personally, I like them because they're a lot of fun. So that's why I picked up this one. I think this one is developed by a company called Sandlot and is published by D3 Publisher. So if you didn't know that, there you go. So that is Earth Defense Force 2025. And then the next game that I picked up is a game called Blood Drive, which has been on my list to get. Honestly, Earth Defense Force has been on my get list too, but Blood Drive in particular, I did want to pick up because this game is a car combat game or a vehicular combat game. But this one is developed by a company called She, I believe. Kind of a weird name. I think they're based in New Zealand and is published by Activision. But like I said, it's a vehicular combat game or like a car combat game where you it's kind of like a I guess like a game show where you have to like smash into zombies and stuff like that. You're basically trying to kill as many zombies as possible. I'm not sure exactly if you're supposed to fight other vehicles, but again, it seemed like a lot of fun. People say it's a little bit clunky, but it wasn't too expensive. I think I maybe picked it up for like $8 or something like that. But definitely want to try it out, and definitely looked like a lot of fun because I like games like Twisted Metal and stuff like that, or like Vigilante 8. So I thought it'd be cool to pick this one up for Xbox 360. And then the next one we have here is a game I've also been wanting to get for a while now, which is Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which is also for PS3 as well. But of course, I like the Xbox 360, so I picked it up here. So this game is developed by a company called Slant Six, and then of course is published by Capcom. Of course, Resident Evil publishes Capcom or makes Capcom games. Oh, excuse me. Capcom makes Resident Evil games. Excuse me, and then this one is a little bit different. So this is a third-person shooting game, but this one basically you play as in like an operative of Umbrella Corp, or basically like a I don't know, like you're hired by Umbrella Corp to basically like fulfill like a certain mission. I think you're supposed to be getting like some kind of different variant of the T virus or something from like a doctor when you're playing a solo, because there's solo missions that you can play in like a campaign. You do play part of like Hunk's crew, or you play with Hunk, which is a character within the Resident Evil series. This one isn't necessarily canon, so I mean it has no bearing on any of the other games. It's just kind of like a fun spin-off. But like the main driving force of this game was that it was like online and you could like play like with other people. So it's kind of like a cooperative game. I'm pretty sure. I'm not really sure how the competitive aspect of it worked, but I think it's still active, or I still think you can play it on Xbox 360. So I'd be interested to try it on Xbox Live. But someone was telling me it was pretty fun, and I definitely wanted to look into it, so I picked it up here. And then the next game we have here is a game called Power Up Heroes. So this is for the Kinect. Of course, I've been getting more Kinect games now, and found this one for very cheap. Um, Now, this one I feel like I got recommended a lot, or I would see it a lot in terms of Kinect games. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pick it up. But basically, you play as like a superhero. It's actually a fighting game. It's developed and published by Ubisoft. But basically, you can like dodge. Like as if you're fighting like I don't know, like a person. So you all the moves that you do, you're like dodging, and of course you're doing like different abilities like with your hands and stuff like that. I didn't really play too much of it, but I thought it was kind of cool. And of course, you can get different like power ups and stuff like that, or different types of powers in the game from like these different heroes and such like that. So I thought it was a pretty cool game, so I picked it up, and definitely cool to have Connect games. Kind of quirky. And then the next one we have here is, of course, another Kinect game called Kinect Joyride. So this one in particular, I'm not really sure how I ended up with this copy, or why I saw this one, but this I guess has some Chinese in it, or I guess you can see some Chinese text in the game as well. I looked up other copies, and not all copies are like this, so I'm not sure where this particular one came from. But this one is just like a racing game for the Kinect. It's supposed to be pretty fun. I think this game got showcased quite a bit when they were showing off the Kinect, so I thought I'd pick this one up. And again, this one was very cheap. I found it on clearance at a thrift store of mine, so that was pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure, fun little fact, I'm pretty sure that the people, or one of the developers, or one of the people that was heading this game, I think he went on to make Dead Rising 4, which is kind of weird. And like obviously he said he was a big fan of Dead Rising, but obviously Dead Rising 4 isn't a great game. But I just thought that was a funny fact, because I'm pretty sure that he came from this specific game. But that is Kinect Joyride. And then last, we will get into the books that I picked up. So the very first one I have here, of course, is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. So this is a sci-fi book. This one I don't really know too much about. All I know is that it's pretty much about like uh I don't know, it's like a galactic like empire or something like that, but they basically have to have like kids, or they have to train kids to become like officers and stuff like that, and like battle games and such, so they can beat up like a bunch, or I guess kill a bunch of like bug aliens or something like that. It's supposed to be like one of the like best sci-fi novels of all time, and again, I haven't ever read it, so I definitely wanted to check it out, and I picked it up at my thrift store for pretty cheap, so definitely excited to get into Ender's Game. And then the next book we have here is Dracula, or Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've never actually read Dracula. Of course, I love the movies and stuff like that, but again, never have read the book before. I picked this up on eBay for very cheap. This one's like the Barnes and Noble's Classics edition. It doesn't really matter to me as long as I can read the book. And again, I got it for very cheap. But of course, this is about Dracula. I think he's trying to like move to England or something like that, but it's told through like uh, like notes or something, or like letters. And of course, like Van Helsing is trying to kill Dracula. So very cool, and definitely excited to actually like read the book and see what it looks like as the actual novel. And then the next one we have here is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So this actually, like people I know actually read this in school. I don't know why I didn't, but of course you know the Frankenstein movie as well, or based off of Frankenstein, and of course all the different spin-offs of Frankenstein. But of course this is about the Doctor Frankenstein, who of course makes a monster who ends up killing him, and basically it's misunderstood and stuff like that. Very deep book, but very cool, and definitely want to read it because I want to see how it like differs from the movie. It's supposed to be a lot better, and of course this is also like a sci-fi book. And then the very last book that I have, or that I got, is Dune by Frank Herbert. So this one I actually don't really know too much about. As far as I know, it's about like some guy who's trying to get some kind of like medicine or something like that, or some kind of like resource within this kind of like desert world. That's about all I know about it. But of course, there's two movies based off of this book as well. And again, this is supposed to be like one of the best like sci-fi novels I've heard. So definitely wanted to check it out, and definitely cool that I got two movie adaptations as well, which I've never seen. But definitely very cool to pick that up. So you can kind of see I got some like sci-fi and like horror stuff, but that's usually what I lean towards anyways. But that is all my pickups for again January and February. But let me know in the comments if you guys have played any of these games or read any of these books. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.